What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. You're here with D-Boy and we are back with another video. This time we will talk about Dark States and we have the new trial deck for you guys. Trial deck 2. This is called the Spike Weather Show by D-Boy. Although that we are talking about the Dark State, we are talking about Spike Weather units. And for that, it's still called the Spike Weather Show. So, as I said, it's about the D Starter Deck 2, and the name of the character who's playing this trial deck is Danji Momoyama. I think the way that you should pronounce his name. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so if I butchered his name, sorry boy, but you deserve better. So Tyrant Tiger right here is one of the starter decks that we will get in the new Overdress game, or Overdress era, the D era, and it's the second one. And this is the guy that plays Spike Brothers. As we have seen, the unit behind him is Bruce, and we know for certain that this is Spike Brothers because the art looks like Spike Brothers. And we see lots of elements that are back from Spike Brothers. So this is one of the main characters, and how cool is that to finally have a main character who plays Spike Brothers. And if I have to choose between all of the new characters, then this would definitely be my one and only favorite character, because look how cool he looks. We have seen also the character design on this unit and on this guy, and he looks amazing. So I'm very happy to finally have somebody in the anime that we really could count on, that he could really kick ass. So I'm interested to see how this character actually will be in the anime. Will he be more angry? He doesn't look like that. Will he be more into saving his friends? We don't know. We will just have to wait and see. But the cool thing about this is definitely I don't mind how good or bad this guy is. The cards that he plays are really badass because they are called anger, violence. I mean, bad. They even call bad. I mean, how cool is that? So for us, for people who really love Spike Brothers, this is definitely something that we will enjoy a lot. Having a trial deck for us, having a main character who plays the clan, we finally get into an era where we really could shine. I'm interested to also see lots of people play this and pick up Spike Brothers as a part of a nation. And because the starter deck is for us, for the Spike Brother players, the other people will pick it up as well. So lots of people will have this and will finally be able to enjoy, and maybe will pick up Spike Brothers in Premium or the current standard, which is the V era. We don't know, but I definitely hope that more people will pick the clan up if they enjoy it. And then with time, of course, people will pick up their favorite clan, as let's say we will see more of a Pale Moon art, like we'll see more Dark Regular archetype. And the same goes for Gear Chronicle when it comes to Dark State and other clans as well from the other nations. Even for Aqua Force and Grand Blue, we will also see those. It's not like it will only be animals and stuff and fluffy and green. We will also see some really mean pirates, so be aware. Alright, so now we see on the screen are of course the 4 cards. We have the grade 3, the grade 1, the grade 2, and the starter, and these are the cards that pretty much I think will be in your right deck. So these are the cards that you actually focus on. These are not the cards that will have the overdress mechanic. The question also is, are we getting overdress in Dark State, or at least will this trial deck get overdress, because some people think maybe we will not get that. Alright, we'll get into that later. We'll talk about the beautiful art for a minute, and then we could jump into the next card, which is Bruce himself and the mechanic that he introduced. First of all, we have talked about the art before. We see the guys, or the dudes in the back, and they are forming a defensive team behind these 6 attacking units. We see the cheerleader, we see the crit, the cheerleader being a heal, and we see the crit right here, who is badass with a bazooka right here, or a rocket launcher. It's not even a bazooka, it's a rocket launcher. We see the starter chilling in the middle, being the most chilled out of them all. and then we see Bruce himself, and then we see on both sides we have the attacking units, let's say, and that's when it's interesting to have that Great One chilling in the front row. But again, let's see how that would work. Alright, so we finally now get to talk about the trial deck and the cards that are in here. I'm just showing you this. I will get back into explaining which cards are in here and how many copies of them there are, but we'll just have to jump into the cards first and then we'll go back to this. Alright, so Final Rush. Final Rush is the new mechanic that we are getting. They're calling it a new skill right here, and that's why I'm not 100% sure if this Dark State deck will get the Overdress mechanic or not. Because if we look back at the list, we don't really see any other grade zeros being the original dress, like the Trickster. We don't really see that back here. So that's one of the reasons that we think that this deck will not get the Overdress mechanic, but that doesn't mean that the Overdress mechanic is only for the Dragon Empire. It could also mean that the Overdress mechanic is only for the Yu deck. So that's also important, because Yu or the Overdress in general is like Digimon kind of thing. It's like you update your units from the grade 0, it goes to grade 2, and maybe later on it could go to grade 3 and blah 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 blah. But pretty much it's something that is definitely not Spike Brother like. It doesn't really make any sense for a Spike Brother lookalike unit to be in Overdress state. So again, I'm really loving this Final Rush idea, and I'm very happy that we didn't get the Overdress mechanic. But again, we are not 100% sure until we reach the booster box, the first booster box, and we see what we will get. It could still, that means that we will get Final Rush and Overdress, but later on, maybe Overdress would be something that will be introduced to the nation by other clan, which, let's say in this case, one of the clans that could do that is maybe Gear Chronicle, because Gear Chronicle could really be something like upgrading new units, the same as we have seen from Chronojet, from Chronodran to Chronodrat to next stage, and more and more and more. So that's more a thing that other clans in this nation could actually introduce, but not Spike Brothers. So it does make lots of sense if we will not get the Overdress mechanic. So what's Final Rush? Final Rush is actually a skill that you could achieve if one of your units say that you are now in Final Rush state. And it could actually power up your Regards. But Final Rush itself is just a keyword, and it doesn't do anything except if a unit say that you get this if you're in Final Rush. And it's something that you could not lose. It's not something that the unit will get, it's something that you will get as a player. As if this unit, say Bruce himself, say when you reach the Final Rush at the start of your right phase, which again we'll talk about in a minute. So we have some questions and answers right here. The first question, I already answered that. What's Final Rush? Well, Final Rush is actually just some information that you get as a player, and some cards could give you Final Rush, and some cards could benefit from having Final Rush. So that's for that. And then the second question is, will you lose Final Rush when you ride into something different than Bruce, if Bruce will be the one who gives you Final Rush? No, you will not. I will explain this question later on when we explain Bruce himself, which is, we do it right now. So we have Diablo's Violence Bruce. That's his whole name, Diablo's Violence Bruce. We see Diablo's coming back in multiple cards. So does this mean that it's more like a family name or the deck name? We don't know. Or maybe Spike Brothers became Diablos. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But his name is Bruce, and they call him Violence. So that's something that we know. So this guy, it really brings violence. First of all, the art, as I said before, it does look a lot like Rising mixed with Darkface, which are two of my favorite arts. You look at the unit itself, it is still a demon. It's not an orc, it's a demon. So that's why Diablos, because Diablos is actually the devil, right? So that's pretty cool that they are actually brought that back as this being a demon which is something that is more into dark state than orcs, because orcs are more like Spike really like, and Rising is an orc, although he's also a demon. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm really happy that they actually brought him back as a demon, or Bruce himself as a demon. I'm not comparing Rising to this, but a little bit. Alright, so we see also the flavor text. The flavor text is really nice, and it has lots of meaning into it. So what he's saying is, come at me seriously, or you won't be able to withstand my full power. This is something that we actually do in rugby. I don't know about American football, but definitely in rugby we say that a lot. Is then when you are trying to tackle somebody or to stop somebody who is way stronger than you, do not hold back, because if you will do a clumsy tackle and you're not going full power, then you will get hurt as the one who's doing the tackle. So when you're trying to do a tackle in a real game against somebody who's really going full power against you, do not hold back, because if you do, some people think if I hold back then I will get less hurt. No, you will be hurt even more if you hold back. So do not ever hold back if you're trying to make a good tackle. And that's what he's trying to say right here. Don't hold back, because otherwise I will kick your ass. And then we talk about his abilities. So the first ability is at the start of your right phase, you final rush. That's it. At the start of your right phase, you final rush. So it does mean that the turn that you ride into him, you will not be in final rush, or other cards in the deck could get you final rush. That's still possible. Maybe the order card, because there is an order card. So that is possible, but we don't know for sure yet. The second ability is also an auto ability, also on Vanguard, and it said when this unit attacks, if you are in final rush, you Soul Blast 5, and then you stand all of your front row rear guards. All of your front row rear guards. It doesn't say 2 of your front row rear guards. So if we will be able to get more attackers in the front row, excel alike something, this card will only get better and better. Remember guys, that this card also has Persona Ride, which means that when you ride on the top of it, you will give your front row extra 10k, you draw a card, which means that your attackers will get stronger, the attackers that restand. So you're not only gaining 20k power, you're actually getting 40k power, because you will be attacked twice, at least with those two. If you have more, you'll have even more. But talking about the unit itself, we see Twin Drive, we see Grade 3, we see Persona Ride, we see 13k base, we see normal Grade 3 stuff, not very different from the other Grade 3 that we have got, which is the one from the Dragon Empire. So that's all alike. The only thing that we see right here, which is very different, is Final Rush, and also it doesn't benefit from riding it the first time. Actually, when you ride into this the first time, it's just a vanilla Vanguard. But we don't know if other cards could give us Final Rush, so do not get hasty. But even with that, the thing about this card, it's more like a break ride, because the second turn that you go into Grade 3, if you ride on the top of it or not ride on top of it, you'll be in Final Rush state. But if you ride on the top of it, even if you ride into something different, this was your Vanguard at the start of your ride phase, so you are in Final Rush state. Even if you ride into something completely different, doesn't matter, you still are in Final Rush state. So that is crazy. Alright, enough about Bruce. There will be more to talk about when it comes to future videos. We'll go back and talk about Bruce. For now, also in Premium, there is no crazy combo that I could think of that you could use this card with, because pretty much we don't really have Final Rush cards in Premium. So again, till we receive more cards with Final Rush, then we'll be able to talk about that. Then we have the second card, which is Diablo's Anger Richards. We have his ability as well, but also his art. So that's the Grade 2 that we saw on the side of Bruce, as you could see a little bit of Bruce art right here. This card has two abilities. The first one is when this unit is placed on your Vanguard circle, you will be able to put one of your Vanguards into your soul and draw a card. This is really good because it fills the soul, so you have one extra soul, but also you will draw a card. It also means in the early game you could rush without really having those Vanguards on the field that goes to waste, because you could still put them into your soul. It has a right ability, as I said, because mostly these cards will also be in your right deck, so that is cool. The second ability is the Final Rush ability. So if this card is chilling on your regular circle, it's a continuous ability. If you're on Final Rush, this unit gets an extra 5k. So it would be a 15k attacker. If you persona right, a 25k attacker that could attack twice. That is insane. It's really simple, but it's definitely very good. But I'm very happy with the first ability as well. The art looks really cool, very Spikeworld-alike. I'm really liking these units a lot. Again, it also looks a little bit mixed with something from Mega Colony. I don't know why these units look a little bit like Mega Colony to me. The scarf right here, you see the skull on the scarf, the skull that we saw on Bruce's chest. You see them back right here. So that's what I think that the Diablo's scar or logo is. That's what I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So we have Richard, and now we have Steve. So we have Diablo's bad Steve right here, and we also see his art. We also see his flavor text, which I'm not sure if it is translated the right way, but what it says is, not even the stadium or the battlefield. The brothers are unstoppable. We see brothers right here, which I love a lot because this is from Spikeworld, but they say the brothers are unstoppable. I don't know if they mean Steve and his big brother, which is, let's say, Richard. I don't know, but I think that they mean the Diablo's brothers, which I think could be the Spikeworld brothers. We also have his ability. The first ability is very interesting when you place this. When you ride into it, when this unit is placed on your Vanguard circle, you choose one card from your soul and you call it to your back row center Vanguard, and then you soul charge one. So this actually gives you an extra soul charge, but also it gives you a Vanguard that you could put into your soul with your grade 2 to draw a card. How cool is that? Sparklers were always simple but effective. We're always about power. And the second ability, exactly the same as the grade 2's ability, which he gained plus 5k when you are in Overrush or Final Rush. Why do I keep saying Overrush? Because it's overdressed. So when you are in Final Rush, this unit get an extra 5k, which means it could become a 13k attacker, and that's perfect because the 13k or the 15k, it hits the right numbers. So again, pretty cool. The art, amazing. He looks like Kyo, if you guys didn't see that, and the name Bad Steve is just perfect. So we have bad, we have violence, we have what was the other one? Do you remember? You don't? Bad, anger? Yes, anger. So anger, bad, and of course the Bruce himself. So we also have more. We have the heal trigger, as we have seen from the full art. This is another card that could give us some ideas. You could see the power of the unit is 5k. The power that it gives when you drive check it or damage check it is 10k. So we kept that. But the shield value is only 15k shield and not 20k shield. I don't mind that. I mean, we do see that the power of the attacking power is actually higher. So there is some power creep right here, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to just test these cards and see how they work. But I think it's cool that they actually lowered the shield a little bit and make the game actually more interesting, as in the attacks really make a big difference. Otherwise, you'll be just like your opponent gets one trigger and you will not go through. But now it maybe depends on triggers even more. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. Bushiro did this for a reason, So we have to completely play the deck against a similar deck in the same format and then see what the big difference is. And for now, I haven't tested yet because we haven't received a full deck yet. But when we get that, we'll test it and we will see what's the big difference right here. For the others, the other things that we see on the card, the symbols, the same. It has the boost, it's a grade 0, it has heal, and everything else is exactly the same, except the card itself, which looks stunning. It is called, its name is Diablo's Girl, so we have like a cheerleader, but it's not saying cheerleader, it's a Diablo's Girl, and her name is Ariana. Really cool name. We have Miami right here, the same Diablo's Girl Miami, with the rocket launcher right here. It's just crazy art. I really love this art a lot. It's just a little she-devil right there. I think maybe a demon or a succubus, we don't know. You see a lot of elements, the tail with the hearts on at the end of it. We see lots of elements that are from Spike Wheels and a little bit from Dark Regulars as well. The art is really well done. I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that they kept it at this high level of the art. And these are only trial deck cards, and they already look amazing. And we also have Matt. So Matt is innocent. So we have innocent, we have bad, we have violence, and yeah, it's just crazy. Again, I love the art, love the eyes, and really cool. Very cool. All right, so we have the trial deck by again, we'll talk about the cards a little bit. We have the heal. We will also see a front and a draw very soon. We have seen the crit. We saw the over trigger, which is the Cranimental one. We will also see a Sentinel. We'll see an Acrobat, which is a grade 1, and then we see 2 different other grade 2s. So the deck would only have 8 grade 1s, but because you have the persona, you have the right deck, you don't really have to think about consistency of the grade 1s and grade 2s. I mean, you could pretty much play all out grade 2s and grade 3s if you want to, because the grade 1s only have 5k shield. So you don't really have to play the lots of grade 1s as in their shield value. That's why this way that we will build our decks will be very different than the way that we did that before. The grade 1 you will receive at 4, but the grade 2, the Steam Gunner, which could be more of a Gear Chronicle look-alike unit, and then we have the other cards that we will receive as well. And right here you see we also have the order card, but you don't really see other grade 0, which means a big chance that we will not get the overdress mechanic, as I said. You could, if you have any questions about this, you could just ask me or comment on this video, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you guys about how this would maybe be in the future, or we could just wait until we get more information. And yeah, that's actually it for this video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining on our channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll be very happy to see you on our Facebook as well, because lots of you guys, lots of our friends do contact us on Facebook and talk with us, comment on the posts that we make. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Until next time.